Hello and good evening. Welcome to the Footy Junkie. It's Rohit here. So today's been an interesting day for football. We had a couple of important games in the Premier League earlier, with Man United taking on Liverpool, which ended in a 0-0 draw, and Arsenal beating Southampton 2-0. So that was sort of a significant result for Arsenal in terms of the top four race. So Arsenal have gone up to fourth for now. Chelsea, on the other hand, still have a game in hand, but they were busy playing in the League Cup final today against City. And although it wasn't a very interesting game, there's a bit of drama in extra time between Kepa and Sarri. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet, but if you haven't, make sure you check it out. Basically, what happened is, so Sarri it looked like he had a cramp or something, and he was just lying down. We had about a minute to go before the sort of 30 minutes of extra time were up. And Sarri starts making the sub now, and he wants to bring Caballero on. And I think he actually made the sub, as in I'm pretty sure the number and all that sort of stuff came up by the fourth official or whatever, whoever it is that does it. And Kepa just refused to come off. Like, he just wouldn't come off. And there was a bit of like back and forth between, Kepa and the sort of referee and Sarri. And Sarri was sort of adamant that he wanted to make that sub, but Kepa just flat out refused to come off. And I've never seen anything like it. It's crazy. But what made it worse was, so he completely refused to come off, and then you sort of see Sarri storming off, and he's sort of walking down the tunnel almost. But then he turns around and it's all kicking off, and you're not sure, what the hell's actually happened here. I've never seen anything like that before. Usually when a bloody manager wants to make a sub, usually the player just goes off. But apparently at Chelsea, Kepa's obviously an important figure. Maybe he's quite maybe he's the manager. Who knows? But it was weird, and I've never seen anything like it. The thing is, though, when you refuse to come off, or you go against your manager's wishes or whatnot, you better make sure that you perform in the shootout. Now, Caballero, he a couple of years ago won the League Cup. Was it last season for City? I think it might have been last season. He won the League Cup for City, and he was sort of quite good for City throughout the competition. And I'm pretty sure he was like the sort of hero for them in a penalty shootout at one point. I'm not sure which game it was, but so he would have come on. But Kepa, if he wanted to play the shootout or whatnot, he's got to make sure he makes saves and doesn't make any mistakes. Now for Aguero's penalty, Aguero literally just tucked it in bottom right corner, but it wasn't the best penalty, and Kepa got a hand to it. I think it was just, he should have saved it. I mean, he guessed the right way and all that sort of stuff, but he should have saved it, and he didn't. So that's a bit of a piss take, really, because that's going to wind Sarri up even more. Because if Kepa was the hero of the shootout, I'm pretty sure Sarri wouldn't have minded too much. But now, he refused, and he went against his manager, and then he went and he let a penalty go in that he should have saved. But anyway, that's sort of besides the point now. City was solid throughout the final. It was a boring game, as I said before, but City did what they had to do, and that's the first trophy they've got in the bag now. They're still on course for a quadruple. I'm not sure how likely that is, though. I'm not sure if they've got enough to win the Champions League. And again, they're still not even guaranteed to win the Premier League, because Liverpool are still right up there. I think Liverpool are top at the moment anyway. But so that's the League Cup final. A couple of good penalties, actually. As per Quileta, his penalty was solid. He just smashed it top bins, as did Sterling. Hazard's penalty was quite good, with that cheeky little dink that he did. I don't think there's much more else interesting to talk about the final. It was actually a shit game, to be honest, apart from that drama with Sarri and Kepa. Nothing else really happened. I think since then, after the game, I believe Sarri's commented on the Kepa situation, and he basically said it's a misunderstanding. But Chelsea also released a statement on their Twitter that I saw, and they were saying that although Sarri said it's a misunderstanding, he's still not happy with the way Kepa went about it. So I'm guessing it's going to be a little bit awkward between them for the next few days or weeks or whatever. But personally, if I was Sarri, I would drop Kepa. I wouldn't want him to start. I mean, he refused. He undermined the manager. And what's worse is I can't believe no Chelsea player. So apart from David Luiz, actually, I saw David Luiz go up to Kepa and he's sort of whispering to him. He's probably saying, "Listen, mate, you got to get off the pitch. Manager wants you off or whatever." But I didn't see Azpilicueta as captain do it. No one else did it, and I just, I couldn't help but think back in the day, if the Chelsea goalkeeper or another player refused to go off, for a fact John Terry, Drogba, Lampard, all those sort of guys would have been right there, making sure they would drag that player off the pitch. To be honest, because you can't just refuse the manager like that. I mean, he's already under so much pressure. There's so much shit going on at Chelsea at the moment. The last thing the manager needed was a player to refuse. And I can see why he refused to come off, to be honest, because he, as a goalkeeper, he knows whether he's injured or not. And a goalkeeper is probably one position where you can kind of make that call. Because, for a fullback or another position, if you're injured, you're injured. You can't keep up. If the goalkeeper feels that he's still got enough to play the shootout, I'm sure he knows it. And I can see why he's done it. Obviously, no player wants to miss out, a shootout, especially as a goalkeeper, because he's obviously got a vital role to play. But he still can't do that. And it might have been a little bit of a misunderstanding. Maybe Sarri genuinely thought he was injured or whatever. But the problem is, what if Sarri wanted to bring on Caballero just because he felt he's actually a better goalkeeper in the shootout? I know he only initially sort of was prompted to make that change because Kepa was injured, but if he wanted to bring on Caballero, I mean, again, Kepa's just completely refused and gone against him. So it'll be interesting to see how that one pans out. As for the Premier League, I'm quite happy today. Arsenal got 3 points. Lacazette and Mkhitaryan with the goals. Lacazette's goal was pretty decent little finish, but it came from a sort of missed kick from Mkhitaryan. And then we see Mkhitaryan scored a decent little goal. Iwobi with another assist. So Iwobi's coming along, doing quite well. United and Liverpool, as I said before, their game was quite dry. There's actually not much to talk about. Not a lot happened. Salah was quite quiet. Mane, surprisingly, was quite quiet. He's been really good recently. So a bit disappointed that didn't see more goals and stuff, but I can't really complain. It's quite a good result with United dropping 2 points. That's good for Arsenal anyway. So few important games coming up actually. So Arsenal have got Wolves midweek. Wolves or Bournemouth? I'm not entirely sure. I should check that. Midweek, we've got a midweek game, and then we got Spurs. We got Spurs at home, and that's quite a vital game. So Spurs lost to Burnley yesterday. So we're 7 points behind Spurs at the moment. So, if we can win that North London derby, that'll bring it down to 4. And I know Spurs have still got a couple of difficult games as well. So let's see how that turns out. So apart from that, not really got much more else to say, to be honest. I don't think there's anything else significant that happened. That's it, really. So, yeah, City are the League Cup champions. They've retained the Carabao Cup. And hopefully Arsenal can stay in the top 4. So thanks for listening. Hope you have a good night. Cheers.